people were pointing this out, and I agree. So this woman who literally shot, from what we know now, a complete stranger, she was in jail for less than an hour. But you all, you, one, two, and seven other people were in jail for 40 hours simply protesting. As far as I know, you weren't, going after police or doing anything. You were just protesting. Can you kind of talk about your experience in jail? Were there any, subtle or direct kind of taunts by the police towards you? And what exactly was the reasons giving you for you guys being in jail for almost 3 full days?
Well, definitely, the initial reason was they were trying to teach us a lesson, trying to make an example out of us. Don't do this, in Jerry Jones' territory, on his plantation.
Oh, I should say. So they were protesting along with many others at a Dallas Cowboys game, and they and the protesters brought in 2 caskets, I believe. One for Botham Jean and the other one O'Shea Terry, who, if you see this video, I just watched this video today.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling.
And we still don't know that officer's name. I believe that happened on the 4th of September.
So O'Shea Terry, 24 years old. Do you know who was with him?
His friend.
A friend of his got stopped, they said, for his registration being expired, and O'Shea Terry began to drive away. And the response by the officer, who jumped on the rail of his car, was to shoot into his car. Literally, it looked like 5 or 6 times. Like the escalation.
Oh, that's that video.
Right. And the officer was claiming he smelled marijuana or something like that. But as Terry O'Shea was trying to drive away, he wasn't shooting at the officer, he wasn't doing anything. The officer shot in, like through the window crack, several times.
So what are you upset about? It's hot. Well, I'm staying outside here. Like I say, if you don't have any more inside the vehicle, y'all should be worried about it. We just have to do what we have to do. So that's basically it. Hey! Hey, stop! Sir. Hey!
Stop the car, man! Stop the car!
And he's unfortunately dead as well. But you were saying Jerry Jones' territory, so that's the owner of the Dallas Cowboys. It's interesting you bring that up, because we've seen Trump, try to bring in this politics to the NFL anthem, and Jerry Jones, the Dallas Cowboys owner, has been very strident to basically try and, make his players stand for the anthem. So you were saying, that plantation at the Cowboys Stadium.
That's right. Yeah, so they wanted to make an example out of us. And, it was over like 30 officers, man, on us. They tried to put us with resisting arrests and tried to give him a weapons charge for jewelry he had on him. When we finally made it, and they had us in a cage, bro. They took us in a cage, be in the back, hot, thick, steel bars and everything. When we finally made it, we're getting taunted by the Arlington Police Department, talking about this is Arlington. We do this is not Dallas. We do things our way. We're hearing on the radios, man. They're saying they're wondering. This is before they arrested us. Before they transported us. They're wondering if they're gonna take us, and they're like, are we gonna arrest them? And then we heard the call. It was like, nah, we're gonna make an example out of them. And then sure enough, bro, they took us. And some of the comrades, they had "fuck the police" shirts on, and they were very vocal about that. The cops were very vocal about that. Each from Arlington Police Department to Tarrant County, they were vocal. And bro, when we went to Tarrant County, man, they made us get butt ass naked, bro, and turn in a motherfucking circle to get our clothes and walk to the officer naked in our club. Man, that shit just crazy, bro.
What reason were they giving you that you had to get butt ass naked?
I mean, we had to switch out, and change clothes and go upstairs, And when we got to the other jail in Tarrant County, it was diverse over there, It was some black cops that they believed that Amber Geiger was guilty for murder, and the white cops didn't believe it. They think it was an accident, and they also quoted, "None of this would be going on if she was a Dallas police officer, another dead black person." Yeah, They quoted that in Tarrant County.
They said none of this would be going on if she was a Dallas police officer?
Or a police officer at all. Yeah, yeah.
So it seems basically like in response to you just protesting a totally unjust is like an understatement, just a travesty of justice. They're basically just dehumanizing you guys as a know your place. Don't talk out.
Also, we couldn't make any phone calls to Dallas, so we couldn't talk to anybody, and we couldn't call out, or we didn't see TV or nothing, so we didn't know anything was going on.
Why did they transfer you to Arlington if you were arrested in Dallas?
Now, we was arrested in Arlington, and then they transferred us to Fort Worth. Yeah.
Oh, because the Cowboy City. Got it.
Yeah. But what was interesting is they told us that they didn't have a court in Arlington. So that was the reason for them transporting us to Tarrant County. And then so we got arrested about approximately 8 p.m. Sunday night, and then getting see a magistrate till about 10 a.m. Tuesday morning. Mm-hmm. And then we probably got released about 1 or, something like that, 1, 2. 12, something like that.
And did they keep all 9 of you together, or they split you up?
Oh, they definitely split us up. They obviously split the, the males and the females. But even as far as the males, they kept splitting us up, kind of reintroducing some of us, splitting us up. But when I finally got in the intake, they definitely had me separated. Man, I was in the cell up there with, white boys, bro, with tattoos and shit, you know what I'm saying? Just like on some gangster shit, So I thought it was very interesting being a black activist, and then they, funneled me up there with the white boys and shit, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And, what's also kind of, you hear a lot of times police departments say, well, we can't release the 911 call, it will, impede the investigation. Or we can't release her records, we don't want to add to pre-trial publicity and blah, 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 blah. But I would guess that if that 911 call gave maybe a hint of sympathy to her or made her look less guilty, that would have been out quick.
Immediately. Now, I agree with that. Anything, if you see that they're gonna be so quick and blatant to dehumanize, Botham Jean's character with weed, of course they would use any tool that they can to, make Amber Geiger look, better. So I definitely agree with that.
Mm-hmm. And Botham Jean obviously is the one that we're talking about now. It's honestly, I've never even heard of this before. Somebody just being mowed down in their apartment by a cop, but. You kind of talk about, you were saying that black men have been getting murdered just religiously here the last few decades. Can you kind of talk about from Botham to Terry O'Shea? You might not know every name, but has it generally been police, stopping black men for like broken taillights or really not criminal things and it escalating? What's kind of the climate here?
I would like to say, first, it hasn't just been these few decades, but it's been since the history and the inception of this country, as far as, under the rule of America. But as far as, are you talking about the history in Dallas? Or, okay, history in Dallas. Yeah, man, it's been a lot of situations as far as, police brutality here, from not just police shootings, but, physical force, unlawfully arrest, all of that stuff, bro. It's a daily reality. And I think most of it doesn't get captured, you know what I'm saying? That's the thing, most of it doesn't get captured and recorded.
Like if you run, that shoots you in the back. Mm-hmm. That type of stuff, yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's like Lindo Brown who got shot here in Dallas by the police.
But the other thing is, I can't speak for you, but a lot of people are running because they're afraid they're going to kill you right there. So it's kind of like damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah, hell yeah, shit, hell yeah.
I'm always in fear when I'm getting pulled over, because I'm legally to carry guns. So I'm scared that a cop might see my gun and just start shooting. Mm-hmm. Won't even ask if I'm legal or not. Right. That's terrifying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And we saw with Philando Castile, when he got pulled over in Minnesota, he literally said, I have a weapon on me.
That was terrifying.
Yeah. Advance notice and boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, like that shit is traumatic, bro. Like seeing that, and it's like there's no real optional outlet. There's really nothing you can do except take that experience and try to calculate it in your mind and be like, oh, this is what I would have done or probably would try to do. But in reality, like you being there, you really can't do nothing. So that's like trauma that we as black people experiencing over and over and over, and we feel that. We feel connected to that shit. You know what I'm saying? But there's nothing we can do. So of course we don't feel safe when the cops or the pigs officer patrolling by us, because one, they don't live in our community, so they don't give a fuck about us, and two, this is a job to them, you know what I'm saying? So, but this is our reality every day across the country, so it's bigger than just Dallas. The culture in Dallas is bigger than that, because even then, like, these cops don't even live in Dallas, you know what I'm saying? They live other places, and they hunt, they prey on us, bro, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's very traumatizing, and we don't feel comfortable when the police are around us.
And I would also think that, I mean, why the Laquan McDonald verdict is a step in the right direction, I guess. They also, maybe in their mind, know they ain't gonna, I mean, they'll back us up. If, you know, if we shoot, there's no accountability. They go into it thinking there's no accountability. Right. So it is, you know, shoot first, ask questions later, because in that culture, in police culture, they kind of think like, well, we could do what we want.
Right. That reminds me of the movie Detroit, when the cop had killed them, and he like they was on his side, you know what I'm saying? So definitely I feel like that there have been different statements that have been leaked by different officers with their body cams and different recordings that state they don't care, you know what I'm saying? They don't care, you know, they'll deal with it later. So yeah, that is definitely a reality. But I would like to also state that you stated that the conviction of McDonald,
Jason Van Dyke was the cop who just got convicted for second degree.
Okay, for killing. Yeah, so him, you say that's a step in the right direction. I think, yeah, sure, but what's more a step in the right direction if black people felt comfortable arming themselves and defending themselves and preserving themselves like any organism on this planet is going to do naturally. Because if Botham Jean had a weapon and defended himself, this might be a whole different situation. And we don't really see, we don't hear for the most part cops killing armed individuals, or not individuals who are ready with the, you know, ready on an even playing field. So we more particularly hear them kill unarmed people. So we shouldn't wait to the point where the life is taken and then we got to go to court and all that. We should stop that from the jump. Like, nah, we not doing that, and we need to spread that around the culture. You did.